If you're looking for the utmost precision in your case trimming, you are in the right place. Gavin Gear here from UltimateReloader.com. In this video, I'm going to focus on the L.E. Wilson case trimmer. I'm going to tell you everything about it. We're going to see what's included in the kit. We're going to look at the unique mechanism it uses to secure cases perfectly square between what will be the chamber of the rifle and will be the case mouth to get that alignment absolutely perfect. We've got a micrometer increment that we can adjust the case trim length to. This tool is awesome, not just for rifle, but for pistol also. So let's take a look at what's in the box. We're going to look at some of the accessories. We're going to look at mounting this to the bench. We're going to trim some cases. You're going to see just how awesome this tool is. Let's do it. So this tool comes in a familiar yellow box with the Wilson branding. We've got some instructions. Here's the case trimmer itself. This trimmer is made from stainless steel. This particular trimmer has the micrometer adjustment for trim length. Very nicely machined. And I've also got the stand here, which you don't have to have. You can actually clamp this trimmer in a bench vise if you have jaw protectors or something like that. So this is an aluminum base. It's a stand. We also have the Allen keys that we need to get this tool set up. So why don't we proceed to do that? If you're not using the accessory mounting base, all you need to do is flip the cutting handle from its shipping position to its functioning position. In this case, I am using the accessory mounting base, so we're going to remove both the cutting handle and the depth stop adjustment, then carefully insert the longer provided Allen screws so that we can mount the cutting handle and the depth stop adjustment back on the base, carefully aligning the alignment rods and gently torquing things down. It takes only a few minutes, and once we're done with that, we can mount it to the bench. Now, because I have this Ultimate Reloader bench system with the embedded T-tracks, all I need to do is use the hold down clamps that I custom designed for my inline fabrication ultra mounts, and I'm going to have this trimmer mounted in no time. Good to go. So we've got the trimmer put together. We've got it mounted to the bench. There's one more thing I want to do before we start trimming brass, and that's to add this accessory, the hold down clamp that's going to hold our case holder in the trimmer while we're trimming brass. It's just going to take a second. Let's do that. So there's a threaded hole in the base here that we're just going to thread the clamp into. Being very careful, of course, to align the threads. You can feel that's going in straight. Always a good thing. Okay. Now we're going to take a 5/8 inch wrench. Just kind of snug that down a little bit. All right. Now we need to take one of our case holders and rotate the clamp into position. And then we're going to take a 7/16 inch wrench and tighten that down until it's kind of touching. All right. We're going to back that off just a little bit. Now here's the critical adjustment. Is what you want to do is try and rotate the case holder, and then you're just going to keep tightening the clamp down until you can kind of barely rotate it by hand. I think that's good right there. Okay. So now we have this clamp. The clamp enables us to insert a case and then just clamp it down really easily. Let's take a look at the trimming process. So here's a little trick for getting our trim length dialed in that Daniel Reichert, the president of L.E. Wilson, shared with me. What you want to do is take your L.E. Wilson case gauge, same diameter, 1 inch, compared to the actual case trimming case holders. We're going to drop that right in. We're going to lightly press it up against the cutter head. We're going to push on the cutting handle towards the case gauge and then screw our depth adjustment in until it hits. Very gently. We can just barely feel that. Okay, now we screw the micrometer adjustment in until we have a couple lines showing, something like that. And I'm going to get the zero dialed right in there at the top. Now our trim measurements are going to be more or less relative to max length as indicated by the gauge. We can take that and subtract 5 thousandths, and that's a good overall number to start with. Take this case gauge out. Now we're ready to start dialing in our actual trim length and measuring that. The L.E. Wilson case trimmer uses special case holders. These are inexpensive, but they are specific to the caliber that you're shooting, and they are a part of the formula that enables such accurate trimming. One quick note, there's different holders for new brass and for fired brass. So if we drop this brand new Starline 6.5 Creedmoor case in, we see it centers up nicely. If we do the same with a fired case in the fired case holder, it's more or less the same. Now, because new brass is smaller, it's undersized compared to fired brass, you're going to see if we drop the new case into the fired case holder, it goes in too far. So something to be aware of, if you're going to trim new brass, you need the new case holder that has the new case text there. If you're going to be trimming fired cases only, you only need the fired case holder, so you can use one or both of these holders. Okay, so we're going to trim some of this Starline small rifle primer 6.5 Creedmoor brass. I've got my fired case, I've got my fired case holder. There's a rim here. We take the rim of the case and we orient this just as such so that the rim and the rim are on the same side. Give it a quick wrap, make sure that we're engaged into the taper, which we are. I've got this dialed in 14 thousandths. I've only got one firing on these, so that gives me about 3 to 4 thousandths of trim. So I'm going to pop the case holder in here. I'm going to hold it against the depth stop. We're going to engage the clamp and then just rotate. And we stop rotating when we stop seeing chips. That's it. Got a nice clean trim there. Just give it a wrap on the case mouth and we can go ahead and continue along the same lines. It's really fast once you get going, and it's extremely precise. It's very smooth. You're going to want to give this a drop of oil once in a while where the cutter spins, and it's something where, you know, once we get into the flow here, we're going to be able to go through quite a bit of cases in a short amount of time, and that's what we want. We've got cases that are extremely consistent, extremely square, and all with a fairly painless process. So that's trimming rifle brass on the L.E. Wilson case trimmer. What about trimming pistol brass? Well, it turns out that pistol competitors are very picky and very exacting about their brass. In a caliber like 45 ACP, which head spaces off the case mouth, that dimension is absolutely critical, and having that completely square and completely consistent can actually increase the precision of those loads. What about revolver? Well, it turns out case trim length is also very critical for a revolver, especially when you're crimping cannular bullets, because that crimp can be a lot more consistent and you're going to have better quality, more consistent ammo for match scenarios if you're trimming your brass. Or if you have mixed brass, mixed head stamp brass, you're going to want to trim it down so that your die setups can remain the same and your ammunition is consistent. L.E. Wilson offers a different type of case holder for pistol. This is for 44 Magnum. I've got a brand new Starline 44 Magnum pistol case here. It's got this little wedge, holds it in, and then it's the same concept. The case is held how the chamber is going to hold it, and it trims exactly. It trims perfectly. Let's see how that works. Trimming pistol is pretty much an equally simple process. Let's take a look. We've got our 44 Magnum case holder. Insert the case. We've got a tiny little arrow here. We're going to put a keeper wedge here in. Wrap on that just a little bit. That's going to press on the case rim and hold this case very securely in the trimmer while we trim it. Same thing, we're going to hold it against the depth stop and then give it a trim. I'm going to take off a couple thousandths and then we can take a look at our nice trim that we've got there. Very nice, of course, perfectly square. Case comes out nice and easy. So if you're really serious about your brass prep, regardless of whether it's for pistol or for rifle, you should check out the Ellie Wilson case trimmer. Now, I've got more content coming up that's going to cover this tool. I didn't show it in this video, but Ellie Wilson offers a power adapter. That means you can use a cordless screwdriver with this unit and not have to crank it by hand. Kind of cool. We're also going to be doing more with the 6.5 Creedmoor Precision Loading Series that I'm doing right now, so stay tuned for that. I've also got a more detailed write-up. Click the first link down there in the video description. If you don't want to miss any of the action on Ultimate Reloader, please subscribe to my channel, and if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Until next time, happy shooting and happy reloading.